Cubs fans, you gotta be happy. You got your guy. Earlier today on December 17th, you guys signed your new shortstop, DANSBY SWANSON, for 7 years. Now, this contract is a lot of money. $177 million over 7 years is a lot of money for this type of guy, but hey, you have a really good shortstop at your disposal. He's got that swag that brings out the blue and white. He is just a whole package deal. I mean, his wife even lives in Chicago. Of course, he's going to go to the Cubs. He's a really great shortstop too, besides all those facts. He is a guy that will have a really good defensive season, probably for the next 4 to 5 years. If he falls off in the last 2 years, so what? You're getting really good defense out of a guy that just proved himself the last couple of seasons. He will go in year out and perform like a winner. Also, I don't think people realize how good DANSBY SWANSON is. He is a clutch hitter. Whenever there is a serious situation going on, when he was on the Braves, they needed to get a run in. DANSBY was always clutch. If you want to look, he has a 1.48 this last season. He had a really good season, a .39 clutch, which doesn't seem like a lot, but a lot of people average between maybe 0.10, even 0 at times to 1. So it just depends. Like this season right here in 2020, a 1.17 clutch. It doesn't get any much better from a player like DANSBY SWANSON. If you want to look at his stats, I mean, dude, he's going to be that contact guy. He's going to have home runs a couple of times a year, maybe 20 home runs in Wrigley Field. He's going to be that guy that hits for contact, a 277 batting average last season, 6.4 WAR this season, really had his breakout year. He's just that guy that will fire up the clubhouse when he needs to, and someone that just will be there for his peers. He's that leader. I mean, he was called Lieutenant Dansby for a reason. And I've been saying for a long time, Cubs fans, that this team was going to be pretty good going into next year. On paper, this team could be a 90, even a wild card winning team. But before I go even further, I just want to know your guys' opinion, Cubs fans. In the comment section down below, tell me if you guys think they could even contend for a World Series, or even if they'll go 500 at the beginning of the season. You think at the trade deadline, will they sell someone like Happ? Will they maybe sell Cody Bellinger because he's on a 1-year contract, try to dump him or keep him, you know, maybe get a prospect back for Cody? Also, Cub fans, are you okay with this contract and how big it is? Because you guys wouldn't re-sign Rizzo, you did not want to re-sign Schwarber when Schwarber was a free agent, and you let Baez walk and Bryant. Now, Baez and Bryant, you can make an argument for that they did fall off, so the Cubs dodge a bullet on that one. But look at Rizzo on the Yankees, man. He's thriving on the Yankees right now. Also, you got Schwarber making it to the World Series again and hitting bombs left and right. Schwarber is gonna Schwarb, you know what I'm talking about. But are you Cubs fans okay with this? Because you have DANSBY SWANSON for 7 years, $177 million, right? The last time you guys signed a contract like this, it was Jason Heyward for a very long time. It's the highest paid contract in Cubs history. So what's your guys' thoughts? Do you guys think it's too far, or do you think this will be good and maybe will help you guys push to be that dark horse in playoff contention? Also, can we talk about your guys' division for a second? Everyone likes to call the Central Division mid because of all the teams, but this year I think it's going to be really interesting. You guys got the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Reds, the Pirates, and you guys in the same division. You're going to have some teams there that are going to contend for playoffs. You got the Cardinals that did last year, you got the Brewers that did last year, and you now probably have a decent enough chance to contend for maybe top of the division. So I think it's doable. A lot of people like to call the NL Central mid or even the AL Central mid, but I think next year it's going to be really interesting to see how far these teams run at each other. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think this team could win at least 80 to 90 games, even 95, you know, get into the wild card picture? I think that's the whole point. I think they're trying to go for it this year. I mean, look at the starting lineup. You got Nico Hoerner, you got DANSBY SWANSON, Happ, Seiya Suzuki, you got Cody Bellinger, Christopher Morel, I believe that's his name, Matt Mervis, which is apparently playing in the Arizona Fall League, and you have Yan Gomes, which is a vet. I mean, he won with that Nationals team in 2019. He's that guy that's going to teach the youngins, the young pitchers, how to be efficient, and even catchers, you know, teach them how to frame and things like that. Yan Gomes is still valuable, even though he's been in the league for about 10 years now, 10 or 11 years in the MLB, and of course you have Alfonso playing for space. With this roster, right, you have an average age of around maybe 26, 27. You have a lot of people in their 20s. Maybe it's around 28. You have a really young core. You have a former MVP on your team on top of the World Series winners. You got Yan Gomes and DANSBY SWANSON. You have a recipe for success. You have Happ that had a breakout year last year, and of course he is on the last year of his deal. So will the Cubs re-sign him this season, or will he actually get sold at the trade deadline if the team isn't doing as well as expected? You also have Nico Hoerner that came in to that position and has played really pretty well so far. Of course, you know, he's going to slide over to second base because Dansby's going to shortstop most likely. I think the Cubs got a recipe for success. You also have Marcus Stroman as your ace. You also have Jameson Taillon as your second. Having someone like Jameson Taillon on the team is perfect. He's a clubhouse guy. He's a guy that you could go out to brunch with on a random Tuesday or maybe talk to before a game. You know, you have that confidence boost inside you. And of course, you got Belly, bro. Belly is a clubhouse guy. He is a guy that's going to have fun with his dudes, man. He's going to go out there and perform. He's going to try his best. I would expect Belly to have a really good year this year. I mean, he signed a one-year contract, right? He's betting on himself like Aaron Judge did last year. I don't think Belly will have an MVP season, but I think he'll definitely hit above 219. I mean, he had a really poor season. Of course, injuries are a thing, but I think Belly will do wonders for this Cubs roster. I think this Cubs team is a real dark horse for next year's wild card. As long as they don't sell and they're not 500 at the deadline. If they're 500 at the deadline, I could see this whole roster getting blown up. I think you get rid of Ian Happ unless he signs an extension and Cody Bellinger. But Seiya Suzuki had a very successful first year last year in the Cubs. Underrated year. You know, there was a lot of hype last year about what was going to happen with Seiya Suzuki. Where was he going to go? He chose the Cubs ultimately, and, you know, it kind of paid off for him. I think next year you'll have people like Seiya Suzuki pick it up. He had a 2-WAR season, which isn't bad for his first year in the big leagues. You know, he's still getting adjusted to the MLB and America in general. So I expect a lot more from him, and I think Nico Hoerner will actually come into his own. He's already been pretty much the Cubs star. Like, when I think of the Cubs, I think of him. Or Ian Happ. Ian Happ is just a household name at this point. But yeah, Nico Hoerner had a 4.5 WAR last season. He played really well, 281 batting average. I expect this Cubs team to be great. But I've always said that DANSBY SWANSON deserves to be on the Cubs. I think he's going to be a great Cubby. I think Ian Happ is going to love him. I mean, Ian Happ does a podcast on JM Baseball with a bunch of other MLB players, and Ian Happ loves to talk ball. So I'd be really curious what Ian Happ thinks of it, because I'm sure he'll share his thoughts on that podcast. The last time the Cubs really went out there and signed a guy for a long time, it was Jason Heyward, and you know, that contract did wonders for the team. He did well, you know, he won that World Series in 2016, but besides that, you know, he kind of fell off because he got older. But hey, the same thing could happen with Dansby, who knows? Jason Heyward's 33 now. He made 188 mil if I'm not wrong, and DANSBY SWANSON's getting 177 mil for the next 7 years. So, you know, it's up to you guys. Do you guys think this contract was good? Do you think it was bad? Anyways, my name's Joe, aka I'm Pitch sometimes on my other channels. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye.